Kostya, I'll give an update. There's a couple things to start off the show. Good morning, Nordovich. Getting checkmated by technology. So Kostya's playing this tournament in Portugal. Had this brutal loss yesterday where he just had a bomb dropped on him. I did a YouTube video about said bomb. It came out, I think, about 20 minutes ago. Let me see if I can post that in the channel. And so, Kraai, content. And he drew today. Zach won today. That was way too early in the morning for me to cover it, but I believe we had someone on earlier.
You guys, I just
doing it. So here I'm going to post the truth bomb video over here in the chat. Bang. And so tomorrow usually what I do with the grad show is I split it up into two sections. One where I do the under 1,000 on Wednesday, over 1,000 Thursday. Tomorrow, though, Kostya is going to have his round, so I'm going to do both today. And so today I'm only going to, it's not that long, fortunately. Sometimes it's like 25 people, and then you're absolutely hosed. And Yelp, we got a dude named Yelp complaining in the Discord about my images there. Also, something else that I boomer GM'd with the technology, and it was sort of like, I don't exactly know how to fix it, but it was also like, maybe I'll just let it be. So we're with this tournament, we're streaming it also to Zach's channel. So I think this is also getting streamed to poor Zach's channel. He's going to find out and maybe be upset. I don't know. He might be upset, dude. But anyways, we're just going to do this show real quick. If he wants me to take it down, I can take it down. Let's get into it. We have only 14 today. So it's a light day, which is good because I can't do it tomorrow. First up, we got Celebrant. Celebrant says, the structure is extremely helpful. I like checking off tasks and adding times into each one, even though I am terrible at doing it sometimes. I love knowing what is next that I should work on. We're working, by the way, on a better suggestion, like what you should work on next. I decided to graduate even though it is bittersweet. I still have more work to do in this cohort. Don't worry about it. The rating is the most important. Looking forward to seeing what is next, and I am looking forward to more classical games. I feel like I'm playing above my current level, so I need to play many more rapid games to figure out where I truly am. Looking forward to work towards the next belt rank. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's check out Celebrant here. We'll give him a follow. Chess Newbie. And by the sounds of it, Celebrant is probably going to make the next graduation pretty quick. Has done one checkmate test. You can see it did fairly well. We want him to do the tactics test. Well, the tactics ratings there kind of confirm. And maybe we'll, that's a great indicator of how fast he's going to do it. He might need a little bit. Clubs. Oh, we got loads of clubs. I'm in this Chess Dads and Moms one. Dude did 19 and a half, mostly tactics. Hopefully we're going to find a game here. And we got one. Oh, this one's against the famous, I can't pronounce his name, Faugra. We got 2 games against Faugra. Faugra's really cool. I think rated higher than him, definitely. So these are Lee Chess ratings, by the way. You never know what's going on there. Let's get into it. So Celebrant's black. Oh, and I got to remember to mark this as reviewed. And Kraai, you also need to remember to switch this into game review mode. Oh, look at this disaster. What happened? Dude, what happened? What happened? Why are you doing this to me? Oh, buddy. That was horrendous. I know why it happened. Just, oh gosh, give me one little second here. It was because I was doing the show yesterday and I tried to Jadoob everything and then things got complicated. And then Boomer GM, just Boomer GM doing his Boomer GM things. Okay. But you can see, I'm a champ here, bud. They call me a champ over here. That's what they do. All right. Whew. Yeah. Easy peasy. I've been doing this for years, and to me, it's very important to show what the person did for their annotations. In fact, DM Hokie was going to send me a screen for this, a layout, but hasn't done that yet, dude. That's DM Hokie's fault. I'll make myself a little smaller here. Okay. And anyways, we are back to it. And something I'm going to check real quick is, here, I got this great, I bet, look at this. It's still hosed, dude. It's still hosed. Why is it doing this to me? Oh, dude, why are you killing me, Bows? Oh, man. Okay. You're just death all around, dude. My OBS, dude. All right. I have a third thing that I like to show, and that is the time graph, which is something we have created here at the dojo to help visualize for people what their time usage looks like. And the first compliment I want to give is these people both took their time. A lot of times at this level, we see people do not take their time. And something I asked for help with, because, obviously the tech side of the Boomer Jam is not that great, but I want to do a study of all the people who've played OTB versus their online. Let's say 60-0 at OTB and 60 at online, and just look at what percentage of time did both players use. The theory is that the players playing OTB use significantly more time, and I have a variety of theses as to why that's the case. But I also want to know, like, how much more? What percentage are we talking about in terms of more? Okay, here we go. Everything's set. Let's get into this game. This is Celebrant here. Okay. Fine. Beautiful. So Faugra hangs a pawn, but maybe deliberately. They do get a little bit of pressure here. Knight f6. Now, this move is very frisky because the knight on e4 is unstable. So I think more... But by the way, let me just say, even though you stole a pawn, this is a very tight position because rook e1 is going to put real pressure onto you here. In fact, you might have a little bit of trouble. To me, best play might be something like this. g6, rook e1, knight f6, bishop f4 exclam. See? And we got a little grief, Mr. Spleef. Maybe this, maybe this. It's a little hot. Knight c3, this is, he's got compensation. In any case, the problem with this move is now this knight is unstable. Queen d3 and queen c4. What a weird move. He's got to play rook e1, and then we'll simply take this knight next, right? With a nice position for white. Queen c4. So clear loss of tempo. Queen d7. Okay. Queen f5. Now look, you're kind of like, what do they call it? Throwing good money after bad? Well, there's some points to this. This queen f5, maybe. Okay, this is definitely a fail. And now the issue is your king is actually developed on d7. And the queen, white's queen, did 1,000 moves, losing time all over the place. So now you are definitely better, and all of white's compensation is now gone. You're just up a pawn. And honestly, I think you're up in time, too. Good. Poor. Actually, maybe you could do it this way. It's funny how committed you are to doing this, to keeping the knight here. More just, simple as knight takes. And he takes. Controversial because the thing is hanging over here. See, the issue, though, is if you had played c3, then your knight is still unstable. You know, you got to do something weird like knight g5. Okay, so this is a mistake. You got him. Doing nothing. Good move. Good move. Good move. Passive, but what is he going to do? And by the way, I just want to say, Celebrant, for someone in the 0 to 300 cohort, I mean, you're doing great, buddy. This is amazing. H5. Okay. Here, what I want you to sense is that just like in the opening, you want to now activate your pieces, develop them. So like this guy wants to get in. A very simple path could be rook f5, hitting this thing, and then this guy, just to bring everybody in. This doesn't bring anybody in. Okay. Thank you very much. Dang. Dang, Celebrant. You did it, boss. Not only that, but you won on time here. Hi, just love you. I know I'm streaming. I know I'm streaming to Zach. And Norris likes this new setup. I don't know. It's just kind of janky. He might tell me to get the hell off. I am streaming to his business because I couldn't figure out how to fix. I could maybe figure it out how to fix the restream, but they're going to be doing it again tomorrow anyway. You know, so I'm thinking to myself, hey, boss, might as well just keep it up. And if he really wants me out of here, I can have a troll go over behind the scenes and fix it. Okay, so that was great. Let's go back and do the next person. Please, Kraai, remember to switch scenes. And next up is the President Noir. Oh, I just followed this dude on Twitter. Yeah, he put some stuff up on Twitter, and I followed him about ChessDojo, so that was cool. Let's see what he says. I've only been here for a few days, but already the suggested books, videos, and the primary suggestion to slow down and play longer games has already paid dividends. 30-minute games have been a blessing to my gameplay. Looking forward to learning more motifs, adding repetition and speed to my tactics, and stop hanging coconuts. Looking forward to the next cohort. All right. Fauger's in the chat. Oh, this is great. Let's do President Noir. Welcome to the Dojo, President. 37 years old, content creator. You know, if you're watching this, President, put your like Twitch or whatever stuff in here, man. You know, so we can follow you and people will be into it. Also, we have a thing on our Discord called Chess Journeys, where people who are, you know, streaming or whatever, have a blog, put their business in. Really cool. All right. So, Faugra says, the Twitch feed is messed, but we can hear you. Oh my gosh. So, can I get a, is it true? Is it true, or is that just the previous little problem that I had? Just let me know. I think we're okay now. All right, President Noir has done 2 checkmate tests, and 503 looking good. So let's go clubs. Nice activity. He's got some activity going on. Looks very good. So he's just been here a couple. Let's see, actually, just see. You know, they got here 5 days ago. Already done 10 hours of work. This is looking pretty good, Vid. This is looking pretty good. Okay. This is what we're talking about. Look at the ratings. Oh, yeah, dude. He got here and just instant ChessDojo madness. If that line keeps going up, it's going to be something. There's going to be another graduation in his future. All right. Here we go. President Noir. Kraai is going to remember to switch. And let's look over here. By the way, actually, I'll show quickly. The time graph looks great. So he was talking about using more time, both him and the opponent actually using their time here. So that's already like, I can't tell you, so many dojo players are hamstrung by their inability to think. And so right here, you're doing it right away. You've already got a massive competitive advantage. Like you have got a building block. It sounds simple, right? But I've seen so many players, 900 cohort, 1,000 cohort, 1,100 cohort, not able to slow down. That when I see this, I'm like, right, you keep this up. It's not just also a competitive advantage. You are learning more when you slow down. Okay, so let's get into it. I have a feeling this is maybe his first or second annotation. This is something I get a lot when I play in simuls. And the traditional refutation of this move is knight e5. But you could play d4, bishop c4 is also good. Let's just say the obvious. f6 is not a developing move. It blocks the knight. It also opens the king. All right, good. Good. What I really like about the move d4 is since you are now up in development, we want you to develop quickly. So good move. And what I want you to see here is he's really developing your queen. I like queen d5 too. Normally I don't approve of these things, but you're threatening mate. Good move. Okay. Bishop e3. Now, let me just stress, sometimes we want to know which one to bring out first. To me, the natural move is definitely knight c3 so that we can dream about a later knight d5. That was poor. Bang. Thank you. Okay, h3. Keep this knight stuck. Okay. h3, boss. That's like a GM level move. That's not anything. Good move. Now this one I'd say it's a little unnecessary because, well, first we're going to see you're going to drop a piece soon, but next, even if you won this pawn, you're inviting the rook back in here. Now maybe it's probably, I'm sure you're still winning. But right now, bishop b7, rook b8, bishop c6. Something just to recognize, and you saw this already in your opponent who blundered a piece, is that what's going on in the under, it took me years of doing the graduation show to really appreciate this. What's going on in the under 1,000 cohort is less of like, oh, I need to learn tactics. What's going on is people don't yet have a grip on the squares. So they're not seeing what is attacking what. They don't have a mental grip yet. And it takes time for that grip to develop, right? The tactics, let's say you do in books or yada yada, that is more helping you develop that grip. Yes, you're learning some patterns and some other stuff too, but most important is just this, not hanging stuff. And you shouldn't feel bad about it because everyone goes through this phase. Now, when you annotate games, definitely say what you should have done. And so one cool trick here is bishop d5. The only move we're scared about is him snaggle-toothing our pawn. Then we go bam! And now the rook is toast because we can snaggle him on the next move. Okay, so we hung a piece. We're still up a pawn. Check to the miserable king. Good move, b3, I like that. One of the things that's nice actually about your game already is that you are pretty good at controlling your opponent's pieces. Okay, passive. Good move, I like that a lot. King g6. And now you played f5, which I have some sympathy for. Just a quick tactic, you could play knight f6, king f6, bang, forking those pieces. f5, c4. Okay, good. Sad, but maybe necessary. Knight g8. Good move. Okay. Good. Simple chess. And now you're going to snaggle his pawn. Okay. Now, again, what I want you to see is that the first time you took here, I feel like you missed that. And when you take here, you're missing rook a8, then winning this pawn. So if you want to take the pawn, maybe a4 first, but notice we really have pushed the knight to a square that it wants to be. All right, your opponent doesn't get it, though. Doesn't get it. He could be taking this one, or he could be taking this one. Okay. I think, too, let me just say, at this level, something I've noticed is players oftentimes are just like, they don't even know if it's a threat, like a move like g4, but they're just going to push. They're like, I got to go get him. I got to go get him. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. And he does have a little something something here. It's a little scary. Okay, tricks. Good move. He never wanted to take on c4, and now he goes passive. Let's give him a check on g7. Good move. Now b6, baby. Oh, ooh, king f2. In my time, yeah. So by the way, I really think this is cool that you were, in fact, in time trouble. It sounds ridiculous, but it's a good thing. To me, it shows you're really thinking here. You're still not toast. Okay. And now bishop b8. Fun. Fun. b6. And king b7 is a blunder. Bam, we got him. Nice. Nice in between move. Dude, another nice in between move. Look at that, buddy. King c4. Let's run, Forrest, run. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, again, this is about grip, right? You need to be gripping the squares, your mind. And you'll just, especially if you play longer, you're going to get it. You're going to be better at it. He blunders his pawn. He could have tried harder than that. And now we just got to push, baby, push. There you go. Opponent flags. Yes, sir. Okay, President Noir, that was cool. That was really cool. We'll mark this bad boy as reviewed. Boom. And now we're going to go Gonzalo. Gonzalo doesn't say anything. Let's see what's going on with Gonzalo. And Kraai is going to remember to go back to the correct scene. All right. So here's Gonzalo. Got some work days. All right. Road to 1,000 ELO. Already graduated numerous times at 754. Look at that graph, dude. Look at that graph. He's been here since March, so 5 months. And so 300 points in 5 months. That's pretty good, man. This dream of 1,000 might happen. Definitely need to do more tactics tests, boss. Something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong in the tactics test, boss. I don't know what it is, but something's going wrong. Slasher Plays asks, what is my name? This is GM Jesse Kraai from the Chess Dojo. We are helping out streaming with Chess Nerd. And so I'm streaming also to his site. He's probably going to get mad at me. In any case, here we go. Clubs. Look at all these clubs, dude. Stockholm. I'm just finishing an amazing book called Post-War about European history. Fascinating, dude. You know, I lived in Europe for a while, and there's a lot of things in that book I had not thought about. You know, really amazing. Okay, here we go. Activity. Mostly tactics. That's okay. Let's take a look over here. And let's look at a game. Bang! We are going to correctly get this scene going on. Actually, I'm going to quickly show that Gonzalo in the time graph did great. Gonzalo's white in this game. And you can see that his opponent did not use hardly any time. Okay, so okay, Gonzalo, we're going to do a mild critique, dude, of your annotations here, boss. This could be a little more. Could be a little more. But I like your development so far. Weird to take back with a pawn. You hang the pawn, but honestly, you get some good compensation. Now, let's just say, here, you could do the trick that we saw with President Noir. And nota bene, even though you're not officially winning a pawn with this trick, the rook is ultra strong here. We call this pigs on the 7th. Very nice to have a rook on the 7th rank. It's just messing with black incredibly. So e4, and I'm going to say you're missing the d4 thing. And here you're just flailing. Good. And they're missing, they missed this b7 trick. Oh. And now you didn't take it. So you're missing stuff. Good move. h6, and they need to develop their pieces. Bishop h6 here looks like a good move to me. Oh, can't do it, so you play f5 first. Kraai doesn't realize that you can't move pieces through pawns. I like this f5. Let's play f6, baby, or queen f7. Oh, yeah, nice. You're still killing him, though. Look at this. Bam, bam, rook g7. Oh, okay. You're taking this home to the bank. Now, here you have a technically winning position, and let's see how you do. By the way, in our training program at this level, we have a bunch of positions where you are up a piece, such as this, and are asked to win the game. Sometimes when black has this much pawns, it can be a little challenging. We'll see how you do. But here we really believe in white's position just because this bad boy is running. And here was a key moment. You needed to play bishop g7 before h4 so that the bishop could get out. Now you're actually in a little trouble. And now I guess we're lost again. He gives you a pawn. Okay, things aren't over yet. There's always hope. Run, Forrest, run. Yeah. Okay, so just a simple note that when you do the annotations, you want to do it a little deeper. I appreciate that you're probably doing this for the first time. So I'm not yelling at you about that. I'm just getting you to see that a little more will go a long way to help you think about what questions you want to ask in the game. For example, why is it weird? Your structure's a little funny. Could you have played rook b3 or something instead? Yeah, you could have. Is this compensation? Probably, right? But then we want to analyze knight d2, and a way to do it would be, hey, let's play knight d2 here, and then if queen b2, we have rook b1 for sure. Those are the kinds of annotations I'm talking about. All right, let's move on. We have Radanus now. Go back. Krai's going to forget. How many times will Kraai forget? That's a good question. So, excited to join the dojo. Love chess since I was a kid and played casually. Dude, Radanus is graduating numerous times. Joined in July and already 332 points. I often find myself drawn to late night chess sessions. Okay, this is looking good. We want you to do some tactics stuff over here. Clubs, no clubs, activity. So let's just see what Radanus did to get to this new spot. Games analysis, tactics. Good. 25 hours of work. Well, dude, you get 100 points, 25 hours of work. That's something. Okay, games. Here we got Radanus. And we are going to look at a couple things. First, let's just check out this time graph real quick. Okay, so this is more my standard complaint, right? People not using their time. Now, the good news is the dojo player, Radanus, took significantly more than his opponent. His opponent, you can see, basically played this as if it were a 10-minute game instead of a 30-minute game, right? So kind of a disaster. But we, and a lot of times the dojo players, when we're playing against these chumps online, will be kind of encouraged to move fast just because they're moving fast, right? Even if we've been able to divorce our mind from all the screens and yada yada that are out there. Okay, so game review, let's take a look. Okay, good moves so far. Good moves. Fine. And now you play bishop g5. Something we want to think about is, can black save his soul after d5? That's one question we got. What I do like about what you're doing is every move you're developing. So I'm really not going to yell at you. Good. A little frisky. So not a developing move. The knight will probably have to end up going back. Queen e2, I think I'm okay with that. Bishop c4. Now, it's a little frisky because your bishop might get hosed with b5 and c4. So probably you want to think about bishop d7. That, by the way, that I would call a tactic because it's a pattern, and every chess player will face this, right? So that's a tactic. And at this level, the most important thing you need to do is not hang stuff outright. So wait a second. The guy went here, and you said, okay, thank you very much. That looks like a bad move, and now you're crushing him. Check to the miserable king. That isn't it. Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Doing great. You could have played rook he1 too, but you're doing fantastic here. That's just opening up your G file for the king, Bows. Yeah, there we go. Bishop d5. Now, so definitely knight takes g4, dude. You know, because we're going to open him up here. Good move, I think. You could do other things, but all right. That wasn't it. Knight takes f6, Bows. So I want you just to see, in terms of grip and also the positional aspect of the game, your knight wants to get in the game. This pawn is loose. We should focus on winning it, not only for the sake of the pawn, but to get our knight in. Oh, he's a frisky dude here. Uh-oh. Not a great move. So, right, you missed it. If you had spent more time, you might have seen it. Check to the miserable king. King e1. Okay, now very spicy position. Even for a GM, kind of hard to evaluate exactly what's going on here. The good news for you here is it seems like maybe your king can escape. Now, is it true? I don't know. You might be able to escape, though. That wasn't it. Good move. And so I just want to say, from a strategic perspective, or whatever you want to call it, it's a huge deal that your king gets a little bit more safe and out of the way of this thing. Good move, knight g4. Unfortunately, it's bad. So, in principle, this is correct, but you're missing queen d1. But that's a tactic. I would say at this level, that's a bummer you missed it. But at this level, we just want you to not hang him outright. So, again, when we do the annotations, though, let's talk about knight f3. Good move from your opponent. Okay. Now bishop e5, boss. Oh. So here's a pattern to look at. So the guy doesn't think about it, and that's a pain. That's going to be a welcome. Pretty soon, I think this is going to be a welcome to the dojo kind of moment. It's still a little bit interesting after queen h7, but for sure this is the move you want to make. Notice in this position, the bishop is actually stronger than the rook. Okay, so you took some coconuts. Oh, and you repaid the favor. Nice. Those kinds of tricks, you're going to see it a lot. I'm going to be looking for that. Check. Bishop b5, please. Nice. Very nice. Thank you very much. Look at those. Look at the strength. Look at the strength over here. Yeah, no rush. Okay. So that was well done. That was well done. Okay. So, next up, we have Almasudi. Almasudi, is that what we got? Next, Kraai has to fix the business here. Let's fix the business. So, this is Almasudi. Tell us something about yourself, Almasudi. You've got graduations coming out the wazoo here. Nice, though. You can see good progress. And want you to do some tactics stuff. Clubs? No clubs. Activity? Oh, not much. Games? Nothing. So, Almasudi, nah. You graduated all these times. I think I have a vague memory, but you need of you graduating. But Baus, where you need some games? Tell us what's going on. You know. All right. Blip Up says, good move, but it's bad getting mixed messages. Well, there are some moves that have good intentions, but have a tactical problem. So let's keep going. This is Duggan. I'm going to follow Duggan here. Duggan had a great jump over here to 804. Oh, by the way, you guys, we very soon are going to release the new Dojo normalized ratings, you know, because that had to be done. We had the FIDE boost, all that stuff, and Knows All, the famous, did the stats analysis for us, and I think we're going to push that out pretty soon. So some people will just get a natural cohort adjustment. Some might go down, some might go up. Yeah. All right, so 804, clubs, no. Activity, we got some. And so 25 hours of work to make this jump. Looks good with the macro distribution. No games, though. Well, that makes my life a little easier, but, you know, hey, we want that inflation trickle down. Okay. Pepper Chess earned his 1,000 cohort. Don't demote me. There he is. Dude, we got to talk about Pepper Chess, dude. We're going to come to him in a little bit. Next up, we have Taylor Cates. Like a stock market jumping all over the place here. 967. They kind of sort of made it. Kind of made it. We got some tests. And tests are saying, Taylor, that you need some tactical help. That's what they're saying. All right. Clubs. Tennessee. I learned today, I was looking up GDP by country, and then I got obsessed with GDP by state. I was surprised to learn that Tennessee has a bigger GDP than Maryland. I was like, what? Tennessee? What do they got going on in Tennessee, boss? Like, I don't know. Maybe they have some car plant over there. Or they got something going on in Tennessee, dude. Whiskey is expensive. I guess so. So, to achieve this amazing result, looks like 70 hours of work, good distribution. Probably need a little bit more games. Let's see if we got a game from Taylor. No games. Taylor, are you lying to me, though? You said you did some games, but, oh, you just did the Blender games. Okay. Well, the classical games, too. So, very important. By the way, some people have a problem that when they enter a game in the database, it used to be it just automatically went in the database, but it is in the database. But for me to see it, you need to press Make Public. Yeah, or for anybody else to see it. Okay, so that's Taylor. And next up, the famous Pepper Chess. Pepper Chess had some life stuff going on. Let's actually see what Pepper Chess says. Been AWOL for the last few months. Sorry, Jesse. Sorry, Chess. Chess is taking a back seat. Sometimes happen. Life threw some hard curveballs at me, but I seem to be through the otherwise of things. Now, maybe that's a grammatical mistake, but I kind of like it anyway, through the otherwise of things. I've been working quietly in the background on my cohorts training plan. I have not had the time to play the longer games or any OTB for a while. After the slog of graduating out of 8-9, getting to this rating was okay. It was definitely okay. So, there you can see that Pepper Chess has all these graphs are individualized, but that's just a real beautiful one. And I remember actually that Pepper was around here and he was posting in the Discord and he was like, you guys, I'm at a plateau. I'm stuck. Help me. But to me, a plateau is not like you're stuck a couple months. A plateau is you're stuck for years. So we can see in Pepper's journey, if you just graph it from here to here and make a line, that's just a beautiful graph. And it's so nice that we should expect it to keep going up. And sometimes, by the way, life hits us all. Sometimes take a little break. Some of the knowledge that maybe, you had got needed to be processed a little bit, and then a little break, and then it comes back and a little bit fresher. So maybe that's what happened. In any case, this is a nice graph going upwards here. Okay, so we got tests going on. Checkmate test somehow low. Maybe we need some Polgar mates going on here. We can go look actually to see the Pepper's Polgar mates. Clubs, European, English, nice. And then we got activity and loads of work being done. Let's see about this one. This was 27 hours, which honestly, in terms of time, and maybe it didn't log all the time, but it's because 77 points usually takes more than 27 hours. But that's that's great progress. Okay, and we're going to look into tactics. So you can click into it, and you can see here he's at maiden twos of 650, and especially if that Polgar test score is low, let's get that up, buddy. You're going to have to do more, I'm sure, for the next cohort too. People talking about Tennessee, right? They have some radiation stuff out there. I forgot I forgot what the lab is called, but isn't the parallel lab to Los Alamos, New Mexico in Tennessee or something like that? Okay, so we got games. And here this was played, just published and played yesterday. So let's give this bad boy a click. And first, let's just see the time graph here. Boom. Oh. So, now is Pepper Chess a serial abuser of his time? I can't remember. But that's definitely poor. We'll see. Maybe he was already directly winning. He's clearly playing one of these online games where his opponent is not thinking at all. Okay. Next up, we got the game review. This is reviewed. So this is a 30-20 game on Lichess Classical. So, fine so far. Poor. So now decided to play DC4. I would like the bishop, an option of moving to bishop E7. Okay, basic stuff. The guy is going to move the bishop at some point. Gotta. So it's only then that we want to take the pawn. So here you actually lose a full tempo here. So an example could be knight here, or like you said, bishop move first. Okay. Poor. Losing time. Queen E2 looks better. Good annotations. Don't like it. Why? Because it's a waste of time. Poor. Hanging a pawn. However, White's hanging of a pawn is arguably a very interesting sacrifice. Does he have compensation? Interesting question. Yeah, it looks like compensation. I don't know if White did it on purpose or not, but it's an interesting idea, right? He's opened up his pieces, and we have got a significantly problem piece here. Now, b5, I like it a lot because you got to get the bishop out, you got to defend the pawn, and this wins time. Mistake. And here you can just take the bishop on c4, right? Thank you very much. Whoop. That's a big deal right there. Let's take that thing. You give, I take. You give, I take. All right, rook e8. You trusted him. Okay, good move. White is just unconcerned that they're losing their bishop. Thank you very much. Bam! There we go, Pepper. There we go. Now you're just crushing this fool. Boom, boom. And then a nice move here. Queen b5. You, of course, have other moves, but this just makes your job a little easier by trading everything off. Good move. Good move. Okay. 95, fine. At this point, of course, you're winning no matter what. I like this move so that if he takes, you got a mate. Oh, he's not doing anything. Uh-oh. That was a dirty trick, Pepper Chess. That was a dirty trick, man. Look at that, buddy. Oh, man, look at that guy. Look at this guy, buddy. Oh, man. Oh, no, my knight. That's right. Yeah, well, he fell for it. And by the way, you get a guy like this who isn't thinking, boom, they're going to take stuff like that. So, they're an encouraging game because, first of all, this is showing tactical awareness. Second of all, besides a couple tempi that you lost here and there, that was really the main critique I had in the game. And also, let's say, bishop a3, you responded with rook e8, looks like fairly quickly, right? So if you'd slow down, you'd be like, oh, I get two bishops for the rook, Okay. So, good game. Well done. And thank you for gifting some subs, Pepper Chess. All right. Always cool to see somebody come back. Everybody has life throwing them some stuff at them. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, about 6 people left. Again, we're doing everything today because tomorrow at this time, Kostya, we're going to have Kostya and Zach. We're going to be covering their tournament in Portugal. By the way, I'm going to post my vid here. I'm going to spam my vid. That's the vid I put out today about how Kostya had a truth bomb dropped onto him. So, Noaji says, I switched ratings to Lichess and decided to graduate, even though my rating isn't completely stable yet. Takes a lot of games for it to be stable. The main challenge I had was that it was no longer possible to win games because my opponent blundered. Okay. Right. Okay. Good. Good. You can see it gets a little, gets a little harder. All right. So this is Noaji graduating numerous times. Honestly, looks like they could graduate again, but as they said, maybe not completely stable yet. Checkmate tests looking strong, only one though. Let's go look clubs. I have a feeling the Europeans, it's not like there's definitely not more Europeans than Americans, but I feel like they are doing the program more diligently. They are the ones actually following the program and graduating. Maybe there's a way for me to statistically test that hypothesis. Okay, let's see how Noaji did it. And this is going to be 1,000 to 1,100. 67 hours of work, 103 points. Well, that's well done. Very well done. Yeah, this is beautiful. All right, games. Let's do this one. This was published fairly recently. And let's first look at the time. Let's see what happened over here. Good. By both players. Both players used their time. So that looks good. This is a 1 hour plus 30-second. Obvious thing, we tell people that at the beginning of the younger cohorts, the 0 to 300 and up, under 1,000, to play. They don't have to play as long, but as long of games. As you get more into the dojo, we expect you to be more able to think longer. And so you see here, we have a longer time control than the one we were looking at before. And we have a game where both players are using their time. So, beautiful. Now we'll get into the game review. And boom, looks good so far. Beautiful, everybody's developing fine. E3, let's see what you say here. I wanted to prepare a pawn break with d4, but it's better to challenge the c5 pawn from the flank with either a3 or rook b1. Okay, now, one thing I'll say is when you just look at it and say, okay, what would Kraai do? What would Kraai think was the correct move here? Well, it's d4. Now, this could make you a little nervous because you'd be like, he's looking at me and he's doing some things and I don't know what's going on. But if we can tactically work it out, then yeah, that's what we want to do. Not only we got to develop this bad boy, but then if he takes, then this bishop is also free. Okay, so great annotations, and it's true. This is a little soft because you're going to be blocking your bishop. Okay, and then that doesn't make sense with the e3 move because the point of the e3 move would be to play d4. Doesn't make any sense blocking the bishop. Good move. And so notice black in this position has a variety of good developing moves, right? Bishop f5 makes sense. Maybe bishop g4, bishop f5, most natural to me. And instead is not focused and starts doing this funky business. Rook e1, interesting. I'm not sure I get it, right? Yeah. Pawn takes pawn looks more natural to me. b6, this person is not developing. Queen e2, okay, good. We could have done that last move too. Okay. Okay. Now, this would be a little stronger if our queen were supporting this. Okay. So we lost the tempo. Okay, knight e4. Good move. Good move by black. Now, could they play knight takes d4? Probably. Probably they could have. f5. I like rook a1 a lot. Now we can play knight e5 ourselves. Let's sink it. Oh, no. Good. Good. Now we have a very tense situation. And he plays queen e6, and you say that he's a little bit better. Maybe. It'll be dangerous for him to take that pawn, though. And I like your move, rook c1. Because if he takes it, you get to get the 7th rank. Okay. He's a pawn grubber. Oh, he did that pretty well, actually, didn't he? I liked rook c1. Rook f8 happened. And I think this move would be maybe better for you. Yeah. 2 points. If rook f5, we can pin and win with bishop h3. And if h6, then when we go back and he takes, we can win this coconut at the end. Okay. So now he's definitely up a pawn. Okay. Now he should be playing d4, but that's also a good move. a5. Dude, he should be playing this. Look, welcome to the dojo. Good move. And he finds it. He needs to play e3. Oh, he finds it. Now, I think you are toast here, just because dude has fully lit you up here on this diagonal. And whether, to what extent he did it on purpose, this is the strategic joy. By the way, if you go watch that video, you will see a much more advanced version of this opening the diagonal business. So, it doesn't play queen e4. You play rook e2. Missing his chance. Queen c4. Missing his chance. Now, this whole time we needed to be playing bishop g2, right? And you said, thank you very much. Check. Check. There we go, buddy. You're back in the game. Yes, sir. Okay. Queen e6. Now, let me say that taking the queen is very frisky, because when the queens come off, his king is a little closer. Does that mean it's a win for him? I don't know, but I know that it will involve calculation. Whereas if you just sit, it's very difficult for him to do anything, for them to do anything against you. Okay, this would be a great example or opportunity to study pawn endgames, and the critical variation, I think, would go like this: pop, 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 pop. And I think you might be lost here. Okay, you get a zugzwang situation. He's able to trade the pawn eventually on b3. His king will be here, and then he walks, and you're toast. That's a little bit involved. There's the endgame Sheveshnikov-Kasparov. That's one of our training positions that has a similar theme. Mr. Ostavagi. I'm going to put that video over here too. Bam! That's the truth bomb that got dropped on poor Kostya, man. Oh, buddy, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Let's see if anybody, people. Oh, man. I wanted more than 213 views. You guys, come on, go over there. I need some views. I need some views. Blunder King asks, what happened to Zach? He just got some muscles, dude, and put on this shirt. That's all that happened. All right, let's see what happened in this game. Good. Good. Now it should be a draw. And now we're just going to bounce around. Okay. So, let's go back. I will change El Sino before I forget-o. And here we go. Here we have Krebsta. I don't know if I'm doing that right. Whoa, already I feel odd, as I haven't put in any games, but I play weekly OTB at a few different clubs, which is where I'll often try and get longer games in. Life came up a few weeks ago, and I had to pause on many dojo tasks I'd been working on. But with creeping up to the graduation level, I feel ready to pick back up where I left off. More Polgar, continuing Silman, etc. What has been the most helpful? The structure and the assurance that mostly ignoring openings and focusing on playing longer games is correct. I always felt it was. Onward. Very nice. I just love to hear it. I do think it's interesting. You watch social influencers on whatever, they're going to be talking about opening this and opening that. And there is going to be a time in your chess career, it's not now, but a later time where openings will be important. And we're saying, boss, just listen, trust it, and then you're going to make it. So, we got Thick Lines, graphic designer, chess as a hobby. Let's give him a follow. 1207, looking good, great progress. We want some more tests being done. We got some clubs. Midwest, Adult Improver. Tell us where you are, buddy. Activity. All right. So some good work being done. Lots of endgame. Let's see. Click in on the tactics here. We got 410. Not as many as Pepper Chess. Not as many. Okay. Oh. And I think he's promising me. I'm going to hold him to the promise that we're going to get some games soon. All right, my friends. Next up, we got M. Norris Chess. And I haven't seen M. Norris Chess in a while, so this is pretty cool. So check it out. M. Norris says, special thanks to Coolmaster, Penrose, Sleepy, Nose, and all the other people who are regulars in the Under 1000 community sessions. The community keeps me learning even when my motivation is low. Jesse, please look at my game versus Philip Lowell. I think it's a good example of my weaknesses. All right. Now, by the way, we have so many projects going on at the dojo. You know, just so many. One of the things that, well, it's sad to say it's been so long on the building block is, you see, we got a couple people who are doing more work than others, such as Coolmaster, Penrose, Sleepy, and Nose, in terms of helping people out. And, you know, we want more people in that ecosystem, and we want people rated higher than these people to come in and help them, you know. So we're coming up with a system to do that. It's taking longer than we thought it would. Okay, so here we go. This is M. Norris from Maine after a 15-year break. Beautiful. Look at this rating graph, dude. Pretty good. All right. So Dojo 1.0, there we go. That looks great. And tactics test, checkmate test looking very good. Very good, especially that tactics test. So that's very encouraging. The New England Dojo, beautiful. I've never been to Maine. I've been to most of the other states, but I've never been to Maine. Activity. We are going to check this out. So 12 to 13, 159 hours of work, my friends. Good macro distribution. Maybe we want a little bit more in terms, middle games of strategy, usually books. That's what we're usually talking about. Now we got some games. And here's this game he's talking about, playing a much higher rated player. Boom, let's get in here. Now, first off, let's see, taking us immediately to the time graph. Great. So as you can see, you get a little stronger and people take their time. The reason this is going on, like no time being spent here or little, is that people knew their opening until about move 7 or so. So we'll be able to see that. Okay, here's our game. Very cool that you were competitive against somebody like this. Also really cool that you input your times. One of the cool things about the dojo training site is, you know, we have that beautiful time graph, but also in the old times when we had chess space and stuff, it's still impossible to put your times in. Okay. In a meaningful way where a graph is then created later. Good? Good. Okay. Good. 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 All right. So, G4, I wouldn't say H4 is a bad move. G4, I think, is interesting. I think H4 is, this has got to be the classic move. Now dude plays H5. All right, a couple things about this position to understand. It's going to be attack on opposite wings, and tempo is going to count for more than it usually does. Nose points out about G4. I don't think G4 is a good move here. Back in the olden times, by the way, it was thought that H5, in principle, it's not the thing you want to do because you are creating weaknesses on white's side of the board. However, it's also clear that if you let this rook get involved, you're going to get mated. So G4, H takes, H5 And maybe from a practical point of view, you could do this, but it's kind of known to not work, right? So it's also, difficult it is a difficult situation to know, like, hey, buddy, what is it? What is it, boss, that I want to do in a position like this? King b1 makes a lot of sense to me. All right, anyways, bishop e2. Now, this is, he's intending g4, but really a loss of time because the bishop is kind of developed where it stands, right? I know that sounds weird, but we don't need to connect the rooks in this particular position. a6 slow, and now you're going to go for it. I don't know about that move. I don't know about that move. Good move. I really don't know about that move. So the problem with e5 is he's going to be blocking this bishop off from its dreams. Okay, interesting situation. And here you see the problem is that you've got everybody lined up, but it's kind of hard for you to open him. Well, let's give what you did a chance. Pop. Pop. Oh, knight d5. Good. I thought you were going to play f4, but I believe in your move too. Queen takes, please. Is very good. Queen a5. It looks like a blunder. Bam! Very nice move. Very nice move. Okay, so by the way, you are playing an 1800 here, and they miss a key tactic, which should be decisive, right? And it looks like they thought for 5 minutes on it, if I'm reading the time correctly. Yeah, they spent 5 minutes on this. So, first of all, bishop takes d5 is a mistake. And let's say rook c8 makes a lot of sense here. In fact, for the purposes of the annotation, it might be good to look at this, where I'm assuming this was your intention. And it's interesting. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. By the way, I just want to point out for players who are interested in the dragon, the a6, b5, generally not what we want. And a nice move here would be knight e5, working against g4 and also intending rook c8, knight c4. Okay. And now we're winning. Something I said earlier, but I want to stress here too, is when you have the initiative in opposite sides castling situations, let's just say the initiative is always important, but in these situations, completely deadly. King h7, and now rook g5. You call it accidental genius. Okay. So the question about rook g5 to me is, after knight f6, are we concerned about bishop h6? I think the answer is no, we're not. Okay. So knight f6, queen b3. Okay. And you talk about queen d6, queen a2. Check to the miserable king. Oh, I see. You did it this way. Because I was thinking queen d6, queen a2, and now check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. Snip to the miserable crip. It's a mate threat, so there's only one move. And then they got this one move. And I think you're winning this, boss. Anyways, this would be the variation to consider. Okay. Now, queen b3, I assume you're still winning, though this makes me nervous because of bishop h6 stuff. Queen a4, poor move. And you actually go into bishop h6, good annotations. Okay, good annotations. Beautiful. So at this point, I think you should focus on just going to the ending, Because one of the things to see is this bishop h6 resource that made me worried ages ago, still concerns. And that's kind of the bummer that's happening to us. A very basic way to play this position, I think, is just to take and play king d2. We got everything going. We got the pawns. Everything's going. You don't have to play king d2. You can play something else too, but it's just devastating. Okay, rook g1. The guy finds bishop h6. And you play queen d3. Here's an interesting question. Yeah, what do you think the eval is here? Right? Have we blown it? Okay, so one thing I would, if I blundered bishop h6, I'd be interested in snip and rook h1. And I don't think I'm actually going to lose a piece. I want to double check and all that other stuff, but I think I'm on here. I'm still doing okay, right? Yeah. Okay. So bishop h6, queen d3, very frisky. Oh, maybe. It scares me. So if we can trade queens, we want to do it because you're killing this guy. Structurally, pawns, all that stuff. Queen d6, queen e6. Okay, but look, this is still not going to work because of yield rook h1. Yeah, the point being, too, to see knight d7, we always have rook h5. Okay, so now queen d6, good question. What else can he do? Obviously, queen a1, but the big one that would terrify me, right, I guess, is rook d8. But here you play queen a3. So even there, maybe you're going to live. Woo! Yeah, it's hot. All right, so b3 feels very slow. Rook c8. Okay. In principle, a good move. And you talk about bishop d1 here. I like that move. Check to the miserable king. Check. King d1. Okay. And now he goes for it now with rook c3. And you write, I spent 4 minutes to come up with queen d6. I simply missed that the queen was now defending d6. Now, it is a full mess here, we got to say, right? Things have become messy. I love that you found this resource. That is beautiful. And then you write, found on a follow-up review before the grad show. Good, good. What an interesting mess. Whew. Could I have sorted this all out with 10 minutes? Maybe. Now, the kind of visualization trick, by the way, I think in your variation is, first of all, he's putting good pressure on you at this point, right? He's in pressure too, got 3 minutes left. And of course you didn't play queen d2 because of knight e4, makes sense. And then it's easy to miss the move bishop d3, right? You shouldn't feel bad about that. You're under a lot of stress all of a sudden. And now we're in trouble, of course. I guess we're toast. Okay, good. So a couple things about this kind of opening. If you make one mistake, it's all going to be over for either side, right? It's a high-stakes opening because it's attack on both wings, right? So he gets initiative first or you. The other guy has to pull everything back. Your opponent also made some big positional mistakes like e5 that, you know, you could say to yourself, oh, I'm playing an 1800. They don't they don't entirely get it. The other thing I want to share is when you did this, you now went all in on like it's like what I see you doing is like saying, oh, the only idea I have is g4. So for example, you even put this one here and this one here, suggesting like, oh, I got to throw the kitchen sink at him. And what I want you to see is a problem that the dragon structure has is this square. It doesn't have full control of the square. So at this point, you have a central strategy of at some point throwing knight d5 in, right? So king b1 is a nice move because we can meet queen a5 with, I believe, either knight c6 first or knight d5 right away, right? And what I'm trying to say is you have more than one plan here besides the brutalistic g4. Okay, but that was a great game, man. Absolutely. All right. So, well done. And next up, oh, Random Refugee. Graduated again. Road to 2000. Here we go. Kraai, you got to fix the grad show. Very good. And this is Random Refugee. I've been thinking, every time I hear this guy's name, I'm like, what does Tom Petty mean when he says you don't have to live life like a refugee? You know? Every time I see Random Chess Nerd, I'm like, wait, what does Tom Petty mean? So, all right. We want Refugee to do some tactics tests, but the tactics are more or less in line. A little bit less than we'd want for somebody rated so high. Really almost to 1500. Maybe he got there and dipped down slightly. As you can see, Random Refugee is truly on an upward trend. Clubs. European, Netherlands, Dutch. Nice. Okay. Looks great. Activity. And we are going to go to the proper cohort to see how they did it. Actually, it's not in here. Maybe he jumped the whole way around. But I don't see the 14 to 1500 cohort. Then we got some games. And here we got Chess Nerding. Which one should I do here? Wait a second. This one is far more recent. So let's do this one. Kraai is going to remember. And time graph isn't there. So I'm assuming this was a game against a lower rated opponent. Still nice, over 60-30. Never got into time pressure. Welcome to the dojo. Good. Good. Absolutely correct. This, I would say, if you did it just naturally, it's even more impressive. But this is kind of, I don't know, to me, deep knowledge. Because the pin works against this point and works against this stuff. Bishop c4 is the more natural move. I'm sure it's playable. But this is even better. That looks poor because now we can play d4. Thank you very much. d5, winning. Very good. And, you know, oftentimes this is what happens when we have an aggressive repertoire. We'll get somebody, and then they make one mistake. It's over. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, good move. May be necessary. Good. Okay. That's a bad move. You know, what's that guy doing? Bishop c3, very nice. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take that thing. Okay. Maybe queen d2 or something like that. Queen d5. Forky dorky. We truly are dealing with a chess nerd here. Forky dorky. I like it a lot. C6. Thank you for all your coconuts. Very good. Very good. Very good. Check to the miserable king. Very good. Simple chess. Simple chess. That wasn't it. Yeah, it's just a mop-up operation. Okay. So, good game. And, I think a key thing for you is to get in some, when we go back to your games, right? We can see that you haven't done that many recently, and for you to get some of the more of those longer games in with some strong opponents. Because like this one, I remember this one, and this was back in March. So we want to have a couple more games up there. Okay, next up, we got Norzius. I switched to my preferred rating system to Lead Chess. Most helpful about the program was doing a lot of tactics and studying Botvinnik's games. Okay, great. Norzius has graduated several times here. 1591, made it and then dipped a little bit. From Kazakhstan. Okay, I remember this dude. Yeah, Kazakhstan, huge chess culture going on right now. It's absolutely stunning. And looking good with the tactics tests. Clubs. Can you, Norzius, if you're listening to this, can you start a Kazakhstan club for us? Nose asks, yes, we could talk about the ratings, absolutely. If we could get Jack on the call too, that would be great. So, activity. And we're going to go back one. So there it is, middle games and strategy. Let's click around here. So I think it was talking about he's done the Botvinnik games in the classic game section. Beautiful. Okay. So games, and this was played and submitted fairly recently. Let me get onto the proper business over here. Actually, let me show that the time graph looks fantastic from both, right? And let's dive into it here. So we got Norzius is white. And let me check again. This is an hour plus 30. Looking good so far. End of prep, that's fine. Okay, moving the same piece twice, simply a bad move. Now, one thing I'll say that's a little tricky, okay, about the way this went down for you. Back in the olden times, everybody played knight b3 here. Knight f3 seemed weird because you're blocking the f-pawn, right, to the old-timers. And what do I want to say? The thing about it that can happen is you kind of want to have an idea of what the knight does there. And it's not easy. I feel like part of the idea is to get fancy with knight d2 stuff later. Queen c7. Boom. Okay, that's okay. And that is poor. So castles is better. Knight bd7, correct. Good. Good. And this I would call a classic Najdorf position, where black has caught up in development. And the reason we can say that black is now better is because the extra center pawn is dominating some of your pieces. For example, this knight is getting blocked on the two central squares. Also, this pawn is not participating in the central fight. So, when I studied all the Fischer games from way back in the day, he would be playing loads of lower-rated players, and it would always look like this. Black is caught up, and there's real pain on the horizon here for white. Good move. Good move. Maybe knight c4 is stronger there. Good move. Good move. H3. And you talk about bishop f6. We got to say white's definitely better after bishop f6, but you're right. And now g5, bishop g3, rook c3. So, very impressive. By the way, you guys, one of the cool things about doing the grad show all in one day is you can really see the development of chess skill. And this particular move is a GM level understanding of the fact that white's rooks will not be strong in the coming position. In order for the exchange to work, you need the rooks to have open files. Here they do not have open files. And here I think we need to play c4. With them, it's going to be rough no matter what, but at least then we have chances of opening on the b file. Yeah, because see that knight, now he's never going to move. I like rook c8 better there. That looks like a desperation move. Looks good. Just take it. Oh, and you had a trick actually on bishop c6. Yeah. Okay. Good. So one of the cool things, Norzius, about that game is that really should be, a lesson. Let's go back just a second to look at your where you are, right? You're at 15, 16 now, and that was your first lesson in like somebody who knew their opening and you kind of falling into the bad dynamic of that opening, right? That's why okay, what should we say? In the Najdorf, white starts off with a dramatic lead in time. Black has several compensating factors, though, and if you allow that opponent to catch up in time, they will be better. That's the dynamic of that amazing opening. Okay, great. Well done. And now we have ARF, ARF, and ARF. And that is the last for today. Tricky Knights asks, how much worse do you think someone gets if they haven't played or studied chess in 1 month? Well, Pepper Chess took a little break and came right back. I think 1 month is fine. I don't think 1 month is going to hurt you too much. Kraai, you need to fix your scene here. Thank you very much. This is ARF and ARF and ARF. Going up, 1711, very nice. Hasn't done any tests, we'd like to see that. The USCF rating, lagging behind. When I get off this, I'm gonna go talk to Nose, and we're gonna talk about the new rating distribution. We'll see how that all looks. So some people will probably get moved around there. Okay, games. We got a game. This was done last year. No, what am I saying last year? Yes, this was last year. So I have a feeling I've already looked at this. Yeah, this is ages ago. Bows. We need some more games. We need some more games. Okay, so I'm going to raid somebody. I almost raided the Chess Nerd Live, but that's me, buddy. That's me. Let's raid the STL Chess Club. If you were watching on the Chess Nerd Live and you're like, who's this guy? You know. I'm sorry about that, buddy. But we're going to raid STL Chess Club. Tomorrow, we will be covering the Chess Nerd and Kostya at this time. All right, bye, everybody.